Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's episode is super important. If you're looking to grow your financial wealth, if you're looking to get organized with your finances, this guest here, Moe Tabesh from NUMETRICACITY.CA, has really helped me put my finances back on the right track and towards growing them as much as possible. Towards the end of this episode, Moe shares 3 killer apps that you need to be aware of. And also at the end of the episode, once we were all said and done, Moe actually came back into the studio for a bit of bonus content. So you definitely want to stick around all the way to the end of the episode. And as always, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also like this video. It really helps out the algorithm and I can make some more videos for you. Thank you for joining me in studio today, Moe.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate
Nice to be here.
I like the hat.
Oh, thanks.
It's a good look.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you get recognized in public more often? Because
no, not yet. I got to put the cape on. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
people would say,
there's a few realtors that wear a hat, and
yeah.
you know they've got different types of branding. People brand their cars and stuff like that. I still haven't figured out something.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe like wearing flannel all the time.
Yeah.
That might help.
Hat, it's easy. I've seen people have red shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they walk out, they got the hat and the shoes.
Yeah.
The red shoes coming. Yeah.
The CEO of the company I was with before, he would always dress in a nice suit every single day.
Yeah.
But with flashy sneakers.
Nice.
And that was like his trademark.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
whatever you stick with, make it consistent.
Yeah. I like
and
that.
then put it on, that becomes your brand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs always wore the same thing.
The jeans, yeah.
I like that because you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear in the morning.
Exactly.
That's good.
Casual.
So we're here to talk mostly about accounting and accounting services. You and I have been working together for about 3 years.
Yeah.
I love the service.
Thank you.
You've been taking care of the payroll for the employees, and it's been going great. I tried to do that stuff myself in the past.
Yeah.
And it can work out, but more times than not, I would imagine that entrepreneurs like myself, they make mistakes when they try to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
That's correct. Also, we don't want to do everything ourselves.
Okay.
I basically one of the things that I want to talk about these days, not just in any business, the do-it-yourself has become very popular, and there's a lot of mistakes that takes place.
Yeah.
The penalties that results from such things as submitting payroll, if you miss payroll deadline,
CPP.
that is high.
Yeah.
Also, you're good at, for example, in your business, you're good at coaching. So if you stick with coaching, let's say, you could help people and then they advance their business.
Yes.
Rather than if you work on the payroll, you'll do it because you're pretty smart. But your efficiency is based on, coaching. You're really good at that. That brings the best value for yourself and your clients. So let's do that.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of do it yourself myself and, screw things up.
And that's another thing I wanted to talk about today is that, for a long time, I was the poster child of not having my finances in order.
Okay.
And thank you for putting me on the right track.
Yeah.
Since we started really working together, like I'm talking about the full service, and we're going to be sharing with you guys what that full service is, and I think you really should look into it. I did not have a clear financial picture of where I was at.
Yeah.
But last year, at the beginning of lockdown, we would meet, we had a few appointments there, and I got clarity on what my finances were like.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like the picture.
Yeah.
And just knowing where I was standing, there was sort of like something that clicked, and it was like the awareness of where I was financially was so powerful because it gave me a whole new perspective on how much money I was spending, where the money was coming in and where it needs to go for taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when we met last year, I was heavily in debt, and I can say that as of a few months ago, all financial,
Nice,
all
nice.
consumer debts are paid off.
Nice.
So thank you. I really
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. I'm glad to hear that.
There's still some back taxes issue
Yeah.
that I'm figuring out, but you've put me on the right track. So with somebody like me that was coming from not being organized, I can only imagine what you'd be able to do for somebody that is already on the path of being organized.
Yeah.
And like you said, taking away that concern of, doing your own payroll, doing your own taxes. Anyways, we'll get into what your services offer.
Yeah.
But let's talk about business owners in general. What's the biggest mistake that you see them do?
Well, I don't know if I call it mistakes. We all have good intentions.
Yeah.
We want to, I guess, do everything that we could. I mean, sometimes it's fun. For example, let's say I'm not good at, I don't know, drywall, but it's fun to me. I want to, basically do that. I've got passion for this, but, should I do it? No. So I wouldn't see it as a mistake. I would just, I guess, see it as being on the wrong path, for example. I've seen some real estate agents coming to me, with a big bag of, and, they're all in, used to be keg. I remember that. One agent brought it to me all in one of those doggy bags from keg.
Oh,
geez. Like,
geez.
Mo, this is what I've done last year.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, we can process it. But, even after I process it, what's the benefit to you at that point? Nothing. Because that was last year. So, last year was good, okay, or was bad. Oh, oops, it's too late. A lot of people, maybe we could call this a mistake, look at accounting as something that I want to do my taxes, which is okay. To be honest with you, if government wasn't asking for taxes, a lot of people probably wouldn't do their accounting. They would just, go on and, I guess, do the business.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So because of that, they come. So 90% basically they come to you. They say, okay, process my numbers. The ones that want to be successful, they want to accomplish more. They want to make more money, just like yourself. They want to see the numbers. Once you see the numbers, then as you said, it clicks because it becomes like a machine. It is like a machine. Imagine if you're driving a car and you don't have your gas gauge, you don't have your speed, you don't have your battery, you don't have the water. Any minute you could run out of gas. You don't know. Any minute, the engine may blow up. You
Sounds
don't know.
exciting.
Yeah, but once you have all these gadgets go,
Yeah.
then you can see, okay, I'm at this level. I'm gonna give it more gas. Become more, Mario Andretti. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fast. Like actually, one of the quotation that he has that I love is says, if you're in control, you're not going fast enough.
Gotcha.
So once you see these numbers, and then so let's say I don't know, the measure of your wealth says, I don't know, $1 million. I want to bring it to 2, because at that point it's just mechanics.
Yeah.
That means you've got the psychology, you've got the mindset, you're organized to crunch your numbers, to see, where you're making more money, where you're losing money, where your expenses are. So that vision, that dashboard gives you what you need to operate efficiently and effectively, and doing it in a second. So you don't need to see a lot, you just see the important stuff.
Yeah, it frees up a lot of bandwidth in your brain, right? In your mind, you're clear and you're focusing on what you're good at, like you said.
Yeah.
Whether that's, selling homes or being a plumber or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about new real estate agents, because that's the majority of who listens to this channel, or are agents that are trying to improve their career.
Yeah.
What are some of the advice pieces that you would give to somebody who's starting out in the industry right now?
Okay. I would say, I guess from accounting perspective, I would say get a hold of or control of your numbers.
Yes.
Where they come in. Create a chart of highest and best value in everything that you do, in every category. For example, advertising. How much did you spend? Where did you spend? How much did it give you? So once you do this, and then have a matrix. Then you would know so what you need to do more. For example, let's say you go to a networking meeting and then you got 2 leads, and then you put an ad in a Kijiji, you got a lead in 1 year. Let's say you wrote a blog and that got 5 leads. And then let's say you send your postcards that got 0 leads. So you write all these down. Once you put them in a matrix, and then you can see which one's the best. So you want to do more of that. So you don't want to let go, even on the ones that not producing any results, but you want to, so you still do that. For example, Kijiji is free. So you just set it up.
You can pay to post. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you could do that too.
You can boost posts.
Yeah, so you could do that. You could do this, and then move on that. So on the same token, because you're looking at return on investment, which is also your time too.
Yes.
Then you can be more organized. Okay, I'm gonna do more of this. I read one of your blogs of coaching, and one of them was, I guess follow, one of your salespeople that's busy. Well, number one, you can learn from them.
Yes.
Number two, maybe the guy's busy, he gives you some leads.
Yes.
So which is a great point.
Yeah.
And also on that token, learn every day. Let's say Mondays, I want to learn, who are the top salespeople in Ottawa, in the world? What do they do? Can I do that? Can I replicate
Of course.
what they do? And again, with the accounting stuff, have a system, record everything. Don't just pile all the receipts to go see your accountant once a year. Go with QuickBooks Online. That's what I really like, or anything that's, gives you the online data, because online means it's virtual, it's right away.
That's the best software.
Yeah, it's instant. So you can go on that. All of them, they have a dashboard. It even called dashboard. I don't know if they look at a car, they said, let's make a dashboard, but that's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah,
You don't
gauges.
need to be an accountant to understand the numbers. You go in and, it gives you the charts, and you want to see, the charts moving up. It gives you the cash, how much I have in the bank. It can even give you some ratios.
That's good.
Yeah, so those are good indicators. Those are good, measuring sticks that you want to have. So.
Are your services available in Ontario, Canada, North America? Where can you service?
Yeah, we even actually this year we're gonna do our first C Corp Alaska.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a client. She actually trades in horses. She's got an office in Alaska.
She trains horses?
She sells them. I think she could be training and selling.
Okay.
I think she's like really good with horses. So
Jeez.
yeah, so she sells horses even to France. So she, based on actually advice from us, she started a C Corp and then she put Alaska. So we're gonna do the C Corp Alaska. We are helping with a client. We actually a Canadian guy actually from Gatineau. He moved to LA. That we are helping him with his taxes in California. We just signed up a client from London, Ontario.
Okay.
And we have a lot of clients from Vancouver.
So you work all over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you've got the Canadian rules or the American rules. You just figure it out.
In North America, the I guess the accounting standards and taxes are different. The rates are different.
Yes.
But basically, the foundation is the same.
There you go.
So there's a lot of overlap of the rules between the two systems.
Yes.
But we understand them. If it's something technical, we'll send them to a U.S. Tax preparer to do it if he ever gets stuck. But the ones that I guess are basically not simple, but the ones that I guess we've been able to help. Last year, I even produced 1099s
Okay.
in New York, and it was all done through QuickBooks Online, the US version.
They've got all the information there.
They have it just like
Yeah.
T4's here. It was done properly. We tweaked it. For example, we asked the client, what's this, what's that? We
Yeah.
got it. And the good thing about QuickBooks is that it's got some features, especially the one in the US. It even files. So 1099, it's something like our T4As. So it produced them. It even asks you, do you want to e-file it? Like, sure, for $10. Like, man, this is
Makes
cheap.
sense, yeah.
And it just click, done.
Yeah.
And it's gone and it's filed away.
I got to tell you, one of the things that I really, really enjoy of working with you is that you're aware of all these tools that are out there,
Yeah.
and you might not even realize it, but some of the tools that you've introduced me to, QuickBooks is amazing,
Yeah.
right? One tool that I really, really like is Receipt Bank, and you've hooked that up to my QuickBooks. And for the realtors that are listening, every time that I go out to fuel up my car or I go out to the restaurant, as opposed to taking that receipt and then putting it in my car door or in my wallet, I just lay it on the table. I take a picture with an iPhone, and then it scans that document and it uploads automatically to QuickBooks. Then I can take that receipt and chuck it.
Yeah.
I don't need to hang on to it. And since we've met in February of 2020, all my receipts are all up to date in there. So how easy is it going to be for you to do my taxes for 2020?
It would be, we call it effortless.
It's very
Just effortless. It actually goes, it reads your supplier when you take a picture. It reads the supplier. It reads the tax. It reads the tax code. It even reads the invoice number. Imagine if somebody had to sit down and type each one of these in.
It takes a long time.
And it's inefficient, right?
Yes.
So I actually, at first when all these came out, for some of them I was reluctant, especially Receipt Bank. Like they were calling me, hey Mo, there's a good product, you want it? I said, no.
Well, you were telling me about all this stuff years ago, and I never really bought in until we met, until we sat down.
The more I see, the more, you see them, they do something, and then we implement it, and then we see it in work. It's fantastic. I call it, running your business at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You can just flip through, different apps.
It's really, and I'm not going to say that I'm the poster child for all of this, but man, do I feel like I've gotten traction since we sat down and we talked about finances. Another service that I really enjoy, and this one I still need to tweak and we still need to work on it, but it's HubDoc.
Yeah.
So that one will actually go pull receipts from my cell phone provider, from my bank, and it will automatically account everything, I guess.
HubDoc, exactly. Just like Receipt Bank, where it's more powerful, it's getting old financial statements. In some cases, it didn't work. But in some cases, we have a veterinarian and he's got a clinic and he's super busy. And I was keep asking him, can you do this? Can you do this? And one day he got frustrated. He just came here. He goes, like we were basically trying to do it online. And this is before COVID. So he came in and we're also friends. So I set him up in HubDoc. And while him and I are talking, he, logged into the bank. While we were chatting, I don't know how long it took, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, HubDoc got 374 bank statements.
Wow.
So, and each could have been 10 or 20 pages. If you go to a bank and ask for them, especially the old ones, they may charge like $5 for this.
It's crazy.
374, that's all. And he was shocked, like, what? He's like, I hadn't seen that in a long time. I said, so now we can reconcile stuff, we can record stuff because we have all these bank statements. So they're the same. Receipt Bank does too. They call it fetch. Basically, you say, as if it's a little, puppy. It's like, fetch my receipt. So you introduce it to, let's say, Rogers or Bill, whoever that sells you invoice, and you can log into their system.
Yes.
So you log in through even G Suites. If you got a Gmail or G Suite, you can go through Receipt Bank, go through the fetch, the login G Suite, and each month it will go and grab the receipt. So you
Okay.
just sit back and it just takes it.
It's Receipt Bank?
Receipt Bank does it too. Both of them do the same thing. Hopduck is strong in getting old statements, but both of them do the fetch. So they all
Gotcha.
have, again, they're competitors, right?
Okay.
It's just like QuickBooks Online and Xero, which is another online accounting software, which is pretty popular in Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
They're pretty well, they're active too, but I like QuickBooks because it's from, I guess, this side of the pond, and it works better with the Canadian banks, and it's a big company, even as an investment. I think they're at $5 billion revenues.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
It's a big
their
company.
stocks are over $300 now,
That's crazy.
because they provide a good value.
So that person that found 367, old
Yeah.
statements, like how many deductions for his taxes were in there that would have gone, forgotten
Yeah.
over the years,
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll do my taxes and I'm thinking about years past and like, oh, I got a receipt here for I don't know, maybe a piece of like a drone I bought.
Yeah.
And that's one example where it's a big ticket item.
Yeah.
A drone was like, it was a Phantom, so it was like $2,000.
Yeah.
If that receipt is lost,
Yeah.
that deduction most likely won't happen.
Exactly.
But if you keep it organized with all the cloud accounting,
Yeah.
is that a
Yeah,
term? Then man, that person that found 367 old
Bank
statements,
statements. Yeah.
what if there was an extra, let's put it at $100 per statement that he found. That's a lot of money,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That's some huge savings.
That is, yeah.
And I'm guessing it's probably even more than that. And it's not too long that you can save multiples of tens of thousands of dollars just by being organized.
Yeah. Well, in his case, he had 2 clinics, and he was also working as a consultant for a bunch of other veterinaries. And then I think I was also doing something else. So that's why he had that many bank statements.
Yeah.
So then, because we grabbed all the statements, we could basically categorize them. Okay, these belong to this company, these belong to this company.
Yeah.
One thing that actually in our business that ensures that we don't miss a statement is we do a bank reconciliation.
Okay.
We make sure that whatever is in the bank is recorded in the software.
Yes.
And then if we do it, and then let's say on the QuickBooks we are missing a few things, it would tell us. Basically, it says your bank balance says million, and then QuickBooks says $1.5 million. So
Something's
half
missing.
is missing, is not here. So then we have to go find it. Okay, because we do a tick as we go through.
Yeah.
So we do this. So we normally catch it, and that's why we keep bugging the client. We need the statements because for us, that's the checklist. If it's not reconciled, that means we cannot. Well, we could move forward, but the numbers wouldn't be accurate. So just performing that task, reconciliation, is very basic. And some people think, because I go to some clients and say, "Hey, can you give me your bank statement?" He goes, "Well, all the numbers are there." I said, "Well, to be honest with you, sometimes you'll be surprised. There's
Really?
something that's not in there, especially if it's old. Like if it's live, if you're working with you, for example, December just went by, that's easy to catch. But if it's from 2 years ago, we don't remember
That's right.
what that was, or
Yeah. I've spent so much money in restaurants. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's useful to
I
see.
bet, yeah.
It's useful to see it and say, "Oh my God, that's like way too much money to be spending to go out to the restaurants."
And you can see, okay, this is where my money is going. Now, am I supposed to do that? Then, okay, that's part of the business. If not, then, I'll cook some more. And you could spend all your money at the restaurant.
You could go out every night, if you can afford it.
Is this the best thing for me to do right now? Maybe not. So it gives you a good, decision-making tool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good. So if anybody would like to get in contact with you or with your team, what's
Yeah.
the best way for them to reach out?
Send us an email, maybe go to our website.
Okay.
We even have a robot on our website. It's
Okay.
called Captain's Butt.
Okay.
And they could just,
What's
fill
it called?
out. Captain, well, it's a bud, right? Like a robot.
Yeah.
But I called it Captain Butt.
Okay.
So you can just go there. It pops up. You say, it's like a live chat.
It'll help you as much as
Yeah,
it
they
can.
could. Well, you could just, you could even book an appointment. Another online tool. It comes from this company called HubSpot.
Okay.
Different than HubDoc.
Okay.
It's a CRM system
Okay.
that's very intelligent, even if you want to do your SEOs. So with their package, they have this robot that you can basically integrate it with your WordPress website.
Is that an accounting
No,
thing?
it's
Okay,
not. But
separate.
it's once you get into, the technology, the apps that we have these days. We got Uber, we got Skip the Dishes. We got Uber Eat, we got Amazon. We even have for podcasting, we got Anchor.
Yeah.
Once you use
You're
these
telling me about that.
apps, it's. Anchor. You can just register, submit it to this platform, and that submits it to 7 other platforms.
It removes a lot of inefficiencies.
It does.
That's for sure.
So a lot of these apps, like Dropbox, a $7 billion company now.
Really?
$7 billion. Yeah, $7 billion. And it's
Wow.
brilliant. And it's so simple. It's a folders
Yeah.
that are online, and you can share it with others.
Oh, there's so many tools out there.
It's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
For me. The reason I liked clouds, actually, I used to be a government employee,
Okay.
and I platformed where I was, and it was so boring. I said I want to, get back to accounting because that
Innovate.
was my passion. And then I was like, how can I? And again, I'm at work, so I cannot do any work. So number one, you learn forcefully that you need to delegate
Yes.
because you're not there. So one thing that I got that at my breaks I can use it, and I didn't want to use government computers.
Okay.
So then Dropbox popped up. It's like, okay, Dropbox does this. You can get the app. So then at my break, I can use my iPhone to access file, even fill out a form.
Were they the original cloud storage?
One of them was, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, it was one of them that made it, I guess, easy to use.
Okay.
I think Google has it too, but I find Dropbox, it's way simpler.
Yeah.
And that's all it does.
I use Gmail.
Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah, okay, Google Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good too, but aesthetically and organization
For your team, it's better.
Yeah,
That's what you
we
work
set
with.
up a team. Everybody gets on that. If I look at it now, actually,
They're powerful softwares.
yeah, we've got I don't know if it will show me. We got thousands of folders now that are. And this is if a client, it happened. Client calls hey, can you send me my 2016 taxes? I need to give it to my lawyer for an alimony case. 2 seconds later, here we go. And he's like, how did you? Oh, I said, I read your mind. I knew you were going to have it.
Yeah, no, that's it's small stuff like that makes a big difference because if this was 10 years ago and you didn't have that technology, then you would say, hey, well, I just need to get back to the office on Monday and, I'll dig up the file, and then you forget, and then he calls you, and then, you
Sometimes I used to work at a CA firm. Somebody would say, give us, something that, let's say, we need, like a tax return from 4 years ago. There used to be a company in Ottawa, Boyd Storage. So we had to call them and then say, and we had to categorize all this, archive them. Okay, so this guy's tax return is in box number, 228. So we had to call Boyd and say, you have a box, number 228. Can you bring it to us? So, okay, we'll bring it by the end of the week.
And that was for like mortgage approvals or.
Yeah, whatever. So they would bring it to us, and then we had to
Wow.
basically go through a bunch of other files that were there. But now with this,
The world has changed.
it's like, okay, it was for Don. Okay, Don, and then corporate, personal taxes. Yeah, 16, 14, whatever. Okay, 16.
Yeah.
It's sitting right there. Okay, he wants that. Dropbox transfer, another feature. So we don't email this to clients because
Yes.
if it gets hacked, that sucks because it's got all your information.
Not good. Yeah.
So what we do in Dropbox, there's a transfer with Dropbox.
So they just log into Dropbox at their end.
But Dropbox would send it, and only a person with that email can open it.
Okay.
And I guess the link would expire after 2 days.
So it's like an added
Mission
layer.
Impossible,
This message will
It's
self-destruct.
self-destruct. It's like,
I like
with no sound. Maybe they should add the sound to it too.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for helping
My
me with my
pleasure.
finances. It has been quite the journey for me, and things are a lot better since we started working together. And again, one more time, what's the email, the website that people can get?
NUMETRICACITY.CA or NUMETRICA.ca, and it's NUMETRICA.ca. So it's not new as in new,
Okay,
it's new as in numbers.
cool. We'll make sure to put that
Numetrics.
on the screen.
Yeah,
And
thanks.
also, guys, it'll be in the description down below. So we'll have a link to your website.
Thank you
also.
so much.
I
Greatly
appreciate
it.
your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Good.
All right.
Thanks, man. So after we finished filming, Mo was like, I want to tell the agents about this other app. So you were telling me about.
Well, there's T-Sheet app.
Okay.
T-Sheet, let's say you have employees or you have subcontractors. You give them access to this app. So
Okay.
they log in using the app. The app micromanages these employees or subcontractors without them even knowing it.
Okay.
Example is, let's say you tell your agent, at 1 o'clock you're in Canada, you're showing this house to Mr. Smith. And then he says, I'm on it. So he knows the trick. When he gets there, he logs in. That's how he gets paid, let's say.
Yeah.
Or because that's where he's showing up to work.
Okay.
So let's say he's driving, he realizes that he doesn't have gas. Not so many of us are honest. He may say, oh yeah, Martin, I'm there. But then he's putting gas, let's say in Orleans. The app would say, this guy was supposed to work in Canada, but at 2 o'clock, he was at Ennis Road putting gas in.
Wow.
So, and then you could say, dude, you told me you're in Canada, but you were putting gas.
What is this app called?
It's called T-Sheets.
T-Sheets.
Yeah, and T-Sheets integrate. So all these apps, I guess,
T-S-A?
sheet, yeah, as in timesheet, right?
Wow. And
So-
this will track employees?
This will track employees even on GPS.
Wow.
So a lot of, like, again, we have clients, even dentists, that they send us the timesheet for their office, staff. They've tracked it on paper, and then they have to put it in another paper, find the schedule, add it up, give it to us. When we gave them T-Sheets, T-Sheet comes in two ways. They could log in with the app, or they could log in with a kiosk. So basically, you put an iPad, say employees that come in, punch. This is the punch card, let's say.
Just like I did when I was working at a grocery store.
Yeah.
We used to have those.
Punch card, yeah. So
card.
this is electronic.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
when you do that, it keeps track of their time, their lunch break, their coffee break, even
that's
sick
good.
days, even scheduling.
Wow.
And then once you as the manager approve these time, provided you check the GPS with the actual work location, once you approve it, all the data goes to QuickBooks Online.
Yeah.
So then the payroll could get processed.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
no double, basically what the objective here is to, even between these apps, we try to avoid double entries. So we don't want to actually, right now, I think maybe 4 or quadruple data entries taking place because we put them in these sheets, and then we put them in another sheet, and then we put them in Excel, and
Yeah.
then we type it in an email to send it to our accountant, and the accountant has to, again, himself sit down and type it into the system
So
to
you're
get the
saving
payroll
so
done.
much time.
This as the employee is logging in, the hours are getting processed.
So
Yeah.
If you own like a contracting business,
Yeah.
right, and you've got 10 carpenters working
Yeah.
for you, could they have an app on their phone
Exactly.
and then they say, okay, I'm on job
Yeah.
site, I'm starting to work, it's 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
I'm done at 4:30.
Yeah. So once you get in there, you log in.
Yeah.
And then so the guy cannot say, "Oh, I was there at 9." No, the app will tell me when you were at that place and when you logged in. So if you log in when you're taking a shower
Yeah.
and then you show up an hour later, the app will tell me.
Okay.
So this is micromanaging
yeah.
without even. But I would I would explain it to staff and say
Yes.
this app is very smart.
Yes.
So don't try to
No.
double cross it because
No.
it will catch you.
Yeah.
Another good thing that the app does, you could create projects in them. So let's say you have one staff, you want them to go to Orleans at 1, and then Ennis Road at 2, and let's say you're billing the client after. So you could go to, it's called project report. So you go to the report and say, show me the hours for Mo. And then say, okay, Mo worked 7 hours. He worked on this client for 2, this one for 1, this one, and so on.
Yeah.
And you can monitor two things you could do. You could monitor your income. So let's say, I don't know, you send me to this place for 20 hours, but we got paid $10. Like, man, it's not worth it. I'm giving you $20 an hour. And then, in a month you generated $10. So you tell this clients like, dude, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because of this app. It happened even in my business. We do, I guess, monthly subscription.
Yes.
We had one client that we were charging them less. And then I sent an invoice. I said, for monthly, it's more like this. Okay. And he's like, oh, you're charging me 45% more. I said, no, actually, I'm not charging you more 45% more. You were paying me 45% less. There's two ways of looking at it. And I showed him. I said, this is it.
That's cool.
And he's like, oh, that makes sense. And it makes sense. Like, yep. So that's T-Sheets. Fantastic. Works with
for
QuickBooks Online.
For realtors that are listening to this, if you think that something like this might not apply to you, that's good. But a lot of you are trying to build relationships with builders, with contractors, with plumbers, and these guys, they have a lot of employees. And if ever you have the conversation with them that they find it difficult to manage their employees or something like that, you might want to be aware of tools like this so you could become a resource.
Yeah.
And maybe you tell them about this app and then you send them an introduction to Mo, and that's an item of value like we talk about all the time, right? Yeah. And I think that that's the way that agents can grow their business, is just by being aware of small things like this and making connections with
especially
people like you.
Speaking of small, the fee for this is only $4 per month per employee.
Wow.
Just the timing, the accurate timing that you get and you pay. Like, let's say you missed an hour, which I'm sure if you go by paper, you will do. Just that 1 hour, it's cost you $20.
Yeah, my father's he works construction.
Yeah.
And he's got like 25
go.
workers for him. And it always takes him a few hours to do the payroll every single week.
That, and also, let's say, I don't know, somebody worked 7, but then it was 6.
Or he worked overtime.
Or he worked overtime. Yeah, it works that way too. So it's fair for both.
Yes.
Because it's clear. This is the data. There were no human interaction, so that means there were no mistakes, either intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah.
So this is the true.
I like it.
Yeah.
No. Well, thank you for this bonus content.
Nope, there's more apps.
More.
There's another one. It's called WagePoint.
WagePoint?
Yeah. So payroll does payroll, which is great. This other app also pays CRA. So payroll, QuickBooks Online does direct deposit, so your employee gets paid. But when it comes to paying CRA, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
So you have to either go online. Some people are good, myself. I log into RBC, I put in the gross pay, I'll put the CPP, EI, blah, blah, blah,
For
blah.
payroll?
I'll pay it, online. But let's say you don't want to do that, or you don't know how to work with online, or you don't have time. So you'll integrate a WagePoint with QuickBooks.
Okay.
So WagePoint not only pays the staff, it also pays CRA on the 15th.
That's what you use with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it works
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So you don't have to write a check to them. If you miss a day, let's say, and they're all due on the 15th, if you give them the check on the 16th, then they charge you. CRA charges you 10%. So for one day.
Wow.
So because of this, because it's not missed, it's so much valuable. To add to that, clients that we have that use WagePoint, their employees T4s already.
Okay.
So it's January 14, T4s already. This was unheard of.
They are ready?
They are ready. So what we need to do is we need to go in, have a review, just to make sure that the numbers are good. Especially this year with COVID, there was a lot of subsidies and whatnot. So there are special new boxes that goes to T4. So T4 going to look different a little bit this year. Even CRA is tweaking their system.
Yes.
So once we review that, it's gone in a second. And it goes again online to CRA.
That's
so you
cool.
don't have to print it and drop it off.
That's it's something off my back that I don't need to think about it.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's so valuable to do this. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have you back for some more apps, I think.
For sure. Next we talk about Fathom.
Cool. Well, let's leave that as a
Stay
suspense.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on the podcast.
All right, for
Really
sure.
appreciate your time.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.